What is up, YouTube? That's here, bringing you guys something a little bit different. You know, the standard meta Pokemon are obviously the Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, Xerneas, Salamence, Talonflame, all those super standard Pokemon. We're not using any of those today. We're kicking it with something completely different with a team I like to call Perfect Dark. I like to call it Perfect Dark because obviously that's a really cool N64 game. If you haven't played that, you're probably too young for me to have fun stuff to talk to you about. Anyways, Perfect Dark is what we're calling this. It uses Yveltal's Dark Aura to amplify the power of all dark moves on the board. Not only its own dark moves, but moves like Tyranitar's dark moves. If my Giratina had any dark moves, or if my Cresselia had any dark moves, all of those moves would get boosted. I'm also using a Mawile in this team. I just didn't bring it in this game. Mawile is pretty bad against Primals in general, so I just didn't really want to mess with bringing Mawile this time. But we are bringing the Perfect Dark team. We're starting this thing off right here, getting right into it, and going up against some guy's name that I couldn't really pronounce. But the main point of the story is, I think Perfect Dark was a really cool N64 shooter. It's a really cool name for this team, and I like to play different teams. It's always funner for me to play with things that are off meta, so that's what we're doing here. We're leading off with Giratina Crest, kicking it off against Kangaskhan and Crobat. This guy has potential for taunts, tailwinds, fake outs, power-up punches, everything like that, but we also have a lot of power play as well. We're going to start off by getting fake outed, and that's obviously to try and stop my Trick Room or other status moves, as he also goes for a taunt on my Giratina to stop anything Giratina can really do. No tailwinds, no Will-O-Wisp, no nothing like that, so he played a very good turn 1, got a completely free turn 1, and I also reveal my leftovers, which means I don't have a Mental Herb, which means if he wants to taunt my Cresselia next turn, he definitely has the option to. So I'm going to have to switch out. I'm going to come in with Tyranitar. Tyranitar is a Pokemon that a lot of people are writing off as being useless. I know I posted that video, the top 5 most washed up Pokemon coming into this format, and everyone just commented, why isn't Tyranitar on that list? Tyranitar is so useless right now. I think Tyranitar is great, you just have to build it correctly. Tyranitar is no longer that Scarf Sweeper or bulky thing using its Sandstream to get the special defense boost. It's pretty much a stash gimmick user that just has a ton of attack that can nuke a Pokemon and try and trade 1 for 2. That's the way I think you have to play Tyranitar right now. Also, its weather does work. We're seeing it take everything down, potentially broke a sash on the Crobat as well. And, like, I still think it's really good, because there's no Primals on the board right now, and those are the things that really check it. Like, the Primals and Xerneas hit this guy hard, but if they're not on the board, it's pretty much a VGC 2015 game until Yveltal comes out. Remember, I switched in Yveltal, right? So that means Dark Aura is going to be active, and it's going to let all my dark moves hit super hard. As we see, I just go for a Stabbed Crunch, boosted by the Dark Aura on this full bulk Kang. This is a very, very bulky Kang. And I do like 80% of this thing, which is just a ton of damage. Of course, he's going to reply back with a low kick on my Tyranitar. That's not that big a deal, but doing that much damage to a Kangaskhan? Whew. I mean, it just shows how much power this team has. Also, like I said, I'm using a Mega Mawile in this team who has access to Knockoff. Knockoff boosted by the Dark Aura just one-shots like every Pokemon that's not holding like an orb, like a red orb or a blue orb or a Megastone or something like that. If their item can be knocked off, they're pretty much going to get one-shotted by that Mawile. So I come in with my Giratina here. Look how stylish this board is. Oh my gosh. Like, 2 Pokemon, we got the red and the black synergy. And I know I could be talking a lot more about what's actually going on in this game. Of course, I'm going to eat this double edge while I'm talking about it. My Yveltal's bulky enough to live through it. And, he didn't even, if he would have crit me, I would have went down. That would have sucked. But my board is just so stylish. I don't have to use Primals. I don't have to use Xerneas. You can get by just playing correctly with some of your favorite Pokemon. And that's been a really big struggle for me coming into this format. We see I hit an Oblivion Wing off on there. I could have one-shotted or finished him off with a Dark Pulse because of my Dark Aura, but I want to keep Crobat on the board as long as possible. I don't want to have him have an option of bringing in both of his Primals and just running me over. I'm going to keep that Crobat on the board as long as possible and pretty much 2v1 his his Primals. So we see his Groudon come out here. Remember, this guy's ability is Desolate Land. It's like a super Sunlight. No water moves can be used. All his fire attacks are super strong. And this guy's just freaking broken. He's probably the best Uber. It's either him or Xerneas. We're pretty much on the fence. But Yveltal and Giratina have great matchups against this thing. Giratina Origin form, the only reason why I'm really using Origin is because it gets access to Levitate. So it's pretty much forcing this guy to go for Rock Slide, which he misses on my Yveltal. You see, he's going to go for a taunt. This is the second taunt on my Giratina, but I'm completely okay with that, and I've read it. Now, we're going to go for an Oblivion Wing. Look how much damage this does. This does so much damage, and it restores 75% of the damage done back to my Yveltal. I'm almost back up at full now, and remember, he did taunt me. I read his taunt, and I'm going for a Shadow Force, which is Giratina's signature move. It's a 120 base move, Ghost type that breaks Protect, but it's a 2-turn move like Dig. So you see, I eat another Rock Slide. He's going to go for a Super Fang on me as well. That's one of the weaknesses of Crobat. It doesn't really have that much power. It pretty much has to rely on utility. As we go for an Oblivion Wing on the Groudon. Last time it did a little bit over half. This time it's going to pick up the KO with a crit. I don't really think I needed it. But just look at the amount of HP I'm recovering. It's just disgusting. As Groudon does go down, and remember, we did charge up that Shadow Force last turn, so we're going to be able to pop it this turn. This is the perfect turn to take out the Crobat. He has one Pokemon left after this, and I believe this is the turn that his Tailwind expires. Oh man, isn't that just perfect? Oh, so Kyogre's going to come in. This guy has an ability similar to Groudon. It's called, I think, Primordial Sea. It's like Super Drizzle. No Fire-type moves can be used. Well, they can be used. They just don't do anything. They just fizzle out. Or they... Does it say fizzle out? I don't really know what it says. I know water moves like evaporate or something in the sun, so it probably says fizzle out. But anyways, Kyogre's going to come onto the board, and from here, we're going to put Yveltal's Dark Aura to use, slam a huge Dark Pulse into this guy. You may think, wow, that doesn't really do that much damage, but remember, my Yveltal is heavily invested in bulk, and the Dark Aura that he has is mainly a steroid for the rest of the team. Sure, it makes him hit kind of hard, but Yveltal's made to live through multiple attacks. This is an Assault Vest Wall Yveltal, and I know that he missed an Origin Pulse on me, but I'm sure I would have lived anyways, as Giratina comes back in to clean up with the Shadow Force. So, I got a little bit lucky. He missed an Origin Pulse. I know he missed a Rock Slide. But this is just a cool way to play a different type of team. You don't need that Xerneas. You don't need that Smeargle. You can play with some of your favorites. I know I am. These are some of my favorite Pokemon. And, don't let people tell you how to play the format, because sure, you might not win a VGC with this, but you'll probably have a lot more fun playing on ladder or just entering, a Premier Challenge with a team like this. So let me know what you guys think of this team, if you guys liked it, if you disliked it, leave a comment below, and I don't know guys, if you guys are liking this format, I'm happy. I'm still finding stuff that I want to do, but until then, I hope you guys have a great time, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. See ya.